What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Journey Podcast. I have a lesson for you guys about DM outreach. What we're going to talk about with DM outreach is, what to expect and also things to focus on instead of DM outreach, because I feel like so many beginning coaches hear about DM outreach. They think, oh, it's a magic secret. If I can just start doing this without actually building a foundational business or foundational credibility, then I'll start getting clients. But their focus is backwards. People think that DM outreach is the thing, which it does work. I get a lot of leads and a lot of traffic from DM outreach. I, make multiple five figures a month just using DM outreach channels. But there's so many things that come before DM outreach that need to be in place in order for DM outreach to be successful. You cannot just go straight from getting started in the business to going straight into DM outreach and expect that to work. There's so many other things that need to be in place before that in order for DM outreach to be successful. Now, just to give you guys an idea on how well DM outreach works, right now we send about 150 messages to about 200 messages a day cold to leads, and we were booking about 3 to 5 calls per day, right? So for every 100 to 150 messages we send, we book about 5 calls, and that's every single day, right? Now, I'm obviously not taking all these calls. I'm not sending these messages myself. I have a team on the back end that does that for me. But that just goes to show the power of DM outreach. When you hit that volume, you guys can book calls, and those calls turn into paying clients, right? Now, did we start off that way? Did I start off sending 150 messages? No. In fact, that was like the last thing I started doing after everything else was in place. And so I see a lot of coaches getting into business, learning about DM outreach, and they're like, okay, if I can just send out, 50 messages a day, I'll book a call, right? But they send out these messages and they don't get any calls booked. And I look at the profiles, I'm like, well, there's no foundations here. Now, before I continue, guys, just to let you know, I can do a longer lesson on DM outreach, but this is actually what we teach inside of our program. So a lot of what you guys listen to here on this YouTube channel or on this podcast is what we teach inside of Personal Trainers Business Incubator. And so if you guys want to know what we're talking about, you guys can book a call with us. We can also walk you through a program, show you what we have and how we, get our clients results. But if you're like, okay, well, what is DM outreach? Right? And how do I do DM outreach? Well, that's what we teach inside of our program. So if you're interested in that, just reach out to me anytime. We can get that squared away. But what you guys need to have before DM outreach, you guys need to have really strong, convincible content, like really good content. You guys need to have, personal transformations of your before and after in your story. You need to have client case studies and before and afters of client transformations. You also have to have educational content and then content that's branded to you that makes you different, right? You know that DM outreach is a very popular method of client acquisition. And when you're reaching out to a client, you have to realize that you're not the only one reaching out. There's also hundreds of other coaches that are reaching out as well. And so in order to DM outreach to work, you need to stand out, right? In order for you to stand out, you need to have a really awesome profile backed up with content and case studies to create a convincible argument for your prospect to believe that you are the coach for them to help them. So some things to focus on before starting on DM outreach. Number one, make sure that you have really strong, believable content on your page, right? That means content that you can scroll and scroll and scroll, and it's all going to be related to your business and to your offer, right? You also want to be on multiple platforms. So Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you want to be able to be so many places to where someone can search you and they can find you and they can see, oh, this guy's actually legit, right? It's not just some fake Instagram profile on Instagram, but you're actually in multiple places at once and you have content played out in all these other areas. The other thing too is that you want to have really good engagement with your Instagram page, right? So you might need to go out and like a few posts. You might need to go out and comment on pictures. You might need to go follow some people, but getting good engagement on your Instagram is going to make your page look legit and authentic. That's going to help you stand out with DM outreach. The other thing is creating convincible content that positions you as an authority. So things like IG lives, IGTVs, maybe client success interviews, or long form content that displays your knowledge on a certain topic. So that way, when you DM outreach someone can come to your page and see what you're all about and kind of see who you are, see what you're all about. And then also content that shares who you are and opens up like your story. So that way people can learn about who you are and they can invest into your brand and your identity. But if you guys are creating like this ominous, mysterious, you guys are not really like putting out content, let's say that you're not even talking on your stories or anything like that, you're not doing the foundational works of building influence and building an audience and building an authority, DM outreach is going to be a really, really hard tactic, right? So DM outreach works really well once you have all those things in place, right? And so I didn't start scaling up my DM outreach until I had, convincible content on my Instagram. I had convincible content on my YouTube and my Facebook. I had tons of client success stories, tons of testimonials. I had tons of IGTVs. And when someone gets a message from me and they go to my profile, they can see that I'm a very legit person, right? And the content is convincible, right? They can believe very easily without even me having to say a thing that I can help them. And that's the goal that you want to have for your content as well, is focus more on creating really great valuable content. And then once you start doing DM outreach after a bunch of convincible content is created, that's when you guys are going to start seeing really, really great results. But does DM outreach works? Yes, it absolutely does, but it should not be the first focus when coaches are just getting started. The first thing that you guys should focus on is creating really good, convincible content, getting comfortable sharing yourself online and really putting yourself out there online, making offers to your audience, and then also getting case studies as well that you can turn into marketing material. So, hope that helps with you guys. Catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.